Welcome everyone. In this part of the tutorial, we will discuss loops part 2, which is for loop. My name is Uwem Akbabut and welcome to Zizix. All right, in the last part, we discussed Python lists and we took time to discuss how to create lists with elaborate explanations and some comments. You need to check out that video because it will be a stepstone for you to understand this for loop. Okay, that's why we had to put it just before the for loop, after the while loop. All right, so check out that video and also check out this tutorial, how we ended it up. It's really an interesting video. All right, so welcome once again. In this tutorial, we'll discuss for loop, the long awaited for loop, right? So, but our discussion will be fruitful because we understand lists. So let's create a simple list that contains continents. I love working with continents. So I got a list of continents. So we'll create this into a list. All right. So what we call it is, make sure that, yeah, I bring it down, continents. So this should be a short video, just stay a while, 5 minutes, we should be done. So we have continents and we have created our list there. So let me just copy everything in there. And I try to, maybe let me use that. Yep. And okay. And all right, that looks good. Okay, that looks good. Okay. All right, so I can arrange it. I can arrange them properly now. So I can minimize it so we have more space. All right, so this looks good enough. So these are all the continents. We have 7 in total. All right, so can bring down some of them. All right, so that looks good. Let me remove this trailing. I hope you don't have any issues. Yeah, no issues at all. So this is our continents list, and we want to use what we call for loops to iterate through this list. Remember, we talked about loops earlier on, about 2 topics ago, when we mentioned that loops have to do with continuous, like we use spiral to explain it. Okay, it keeps going, iterates continuously, except you have a stop for it. Okay, so that's the same way we need to use a loop here to be able to get individual elements of this list. Remember, in our last tutorial, we only had the ability to maybe just have continents and have it a particular value. Say we want to get Europe, right? And we're able to print that out, or we're able to add and other things, but we were not able to explicitly uh, print out all the elements in a list, and that was a disadvantage. The highest we could do was to find the length of the list just to be sure that everything is there, but that's not so efficient with what we want to do. So we want to be able to print this list. If we try it now, if we try to print this, just continents, print. So yeah, it prints the list for us, but inside of a list, it's just what it's basically doing is just to print this, which is not what we want to do, right? So we want to have the list just like I pasted it before, uh, just like I pasted it here, like this before. So we want to have that list like that. And this advantage also helps in database manipulation because you're able to fetch and to insert to database based on each of the elements. You're able to grab each of these elements: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Europe, North America, South America. You're able to grab each of them. But with this, you can't grab each of them. If you want to get it, it will give you the entire square brackets and everything, which is not nice. So to achieve what we want, we need to use a for loop. For loop. Let me use capital F for that. For loop. All right. So what a for loop does is that it iterates through the elements of a list. It's just like a while loop, but the advantage is that it doesn't just iterate through other things. It actually iterates through the elements of a list. Okay. So um so let's see how to do that with for loop. All right, to work with for loop, all we need to do is to have for, and we have a, once we do for, am I still recording? Okay, so, all right, once we have for, so what you need to do is just to create a variable. So I might say for C in continents, for C in continents. So this C, it can be anything. I'm just using the first letter here. So it's your variable you've created so that you'll be able to actually print out this variable. So you will not be able to print this out. So you've created a variable that will loop through and print out each of these continents for you. So for C in continents, and remember to indent. So what you do is you print C. So it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. So if we print C now, you see how many lines? Just 2 lines. We're able to print everything that is here. So thank you very much for watching. I love you all. Bye.